Yeshua. Ziv Zimratya Vayhili 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 Yeshua. Boker Tov, good morning. It is nice that the wind is not howling this morning. The weather doesn't look that great. It's a little gray. But the leaves are beautiful colors. And there is something to be said about the wind dying down. Yesterday was extremely windy. In fact, things in the yard, are flying over and toppling down and going across the lawn. And you see garbage cans that were rolling down the street. But wind also stirs our souls. It also reminds us of, when the wind is at your back, you have to kind of push forward. And that was our teaching yesterday about the holiness of honoring life even in loss, this idea of, letting go of the initial feelings and finding a way to carry our loved ones forward, a way for to weep when you need to weep and courage to rise when it's time to do so, from a place of gratitude and faith and love. And that's the wind at our back. And today we continue our discovery within the portion of Chayei Sarah, the Parshat Chayei Sarah, the life of Sarah. And we talk about kindness as a legacy. Today is my mom's 17th yahrzeit, and it couldn't be more fitting than for this day, for this teaching, that kindness is a legacy. My mom was certainly one of these progressive thinkers before her time, and I don't mean politically. She was open your door to whoever. She was, employ those that are just needing a chance. She was, somebody that was at the grocery store, and even if she only had $5, she would give it to someone else, literally, not just the cliche shirt off your back person, but she would sooner sit outside with nothing, as long as somebody else had something. And so, kindness was her way. Yes, sometimes did she feel like she was a doormat, for sure. She used to always say that. And then, for the repeat offenders. But always it was done from a place of heart, of chesed, a place of compassion in her actions. And so, as our continuation of Torah diving, it's like not dumpster diving, it's Torah diving. We're looking into what we can glean. We're looking for deeper understanding, deeper meaning. We're looking for something that maybe we didn't know before, digging a little deeper than the surface. So kindness as a legacy. After Sarah's death, Abraham sent his trusted servant, Eliezer, to find a wife for his son. Their son's name is Isaac, Yitzchak, and meaning that name means and they left, or and he left, or and she left. I don't remember which one it is, but laughter. Yeah, of course it's laughter. The woman was 127 years old when she died. So when she was pregnant at 100 years old or something, I forget, 97, something crazy, as Torah teaches. So Abraham is like, okay, Eliezer, go find a wife for my son. It's a kind of tender mission, though, not only to ensure the idea of the continuation of the family line, but to carry Sarah's, his mother's, Yitzchak's mother, Abraham's wife, the spirit forward. Abraham's instructions are simple but profound. Find someone who will embody the values that defined this household: faith, courage, and kindness. And at the well, Eliezer prays, "Let the young man who offers water to me and to my camels as well be the one you have chosen." So whatever woman is going to come to take care and tend to the need of not only the person, but also the camels as well, will be the chosen one for Yitzchak. And before he finishes speaking, Rebecca appears. She draws not only water for the stranger, Eliezer, but also for his animals, the camels. A small act, but one that reveals everything about her character. She doesn't know who he is, what he wants, or what she might gain, but she simply just acts with instinctive generosity. These days I think about, even think about the way my mom was. She worked first, and I worked there too, in Jamaica, Queens, on Hillside Avenue. And there were times where we left the office late at night, and there would be people in the parking lot, questionable, not just by profiling them, but homeless, hungry, crazy, mental illness, loud, gang-ish kind of vibe, all different types of people. But she was like this. She was just somebody that had this instinctive generosity that was, you know what? Maybe they need something. Maybe they need something. So I don't know what's in it. It's nothing in it for me, but maybe it'll be in it for them. And it wasn't about her own gain. And this too was the way tradition is teaching this story, that our tradition calls this chesed shel emet, kindness without calculation. It's not kindness because you're going to earn a reward or recognition. It's kindness because compassion has become second nature. Rebecca's action transforms her from this unknown young woman at the well into a matriarch of the Jewish people. The servant, witnessing her gesture, immediately recognizes that divine purpose is unfolding not through some grand miracle, but just simple human decency. So many of us shake our heads a lot, right? We roll our eyes, we sigh a lot, because we feel like we live in a world that lacks human decency often. But imagine this to be just its purest form. This gesture of giving water to the thirsty, who wasn't even thirsty, but just came across this, upon this well, and also for the animals. The first conversation between Eliezer and God ends not in this revelation, but simply in Rebecca's empathy. That's Torah's quiet revolution. God's plan is revealed through the way we treat one another. When we think about legacy, we often imagine this large, visible impact. Wow, how did they change the world? I'm going to take their torch and run with it. The large, visible impact, the things that will be remembered. But this week's learning, this week's portion, this week's parsha, this week's text teaches us that legacy lives in the small, consistent acts of chesed, the ones that ripple outward even when often unnoticed, when they go without being seen. Sarah's tent was known. Tradition says for its ever-burning lamp, I think it says, yeah, was a sign of welcome and warmth. That was the entrance to that tent. Like the flashing lights that say, hey, we're open, come here. When Rebecca enters Sarah's tent, the lamp miraculously returns. The Torah is teaching that kindness is continuity. The flame passes from one heart to another. In our lives, this is the invitation for Chesed. Not to wait for this grand opportunity to change the world, but to respond instinctively and lovingly to the needs that are right in front of us. Chesed reminds us that the divine presence is not only found in these heavenly visions, but in the everyday courage to care, to refill another's well, to carry the burden of another, to notice, and to respond. This teaching, this spiritual practice of Chesed, this Chesed is a spiritual practice of seeing others not as interruptions, but as invitations. Each person we meet is a chance to keep Sarah Imenu, the mother, the first one. It's a chance to keep her flame burning, to make compassion our inheritance and kindness our legacy. So as we reflect, God, get through it without choking. Our opportunity to reflect for today is, whose well can we fill this week? It might be our own, but it might be the well of someone else. What act of uncalculated kindness, quiet, unacknowledged, but real, can you offer as a continuation of the light of Chayei Sarah? Where can we offer to fuel that lantern, to fuel that welcome sign, to fuel that light? Consistent with the life of Sarah. Beloved friends, it is always a pleasure to be with all of you. Eileen and Jennifer, Amy, Lita, Elisa, Suze, Linda. This new system is so strange. Oh, there we go. It has different pop-up windows. Jennifer, you're watching on YouTube. That's so unusual also. But it's for us. The teaching is directly for us. Yesterday, it was an invitation that was simple and sacred. A way that we can honor life. To find someone in your life whose legacy or memory or teaching that you want to gently bring forward, not by making your life harder, but making us live more fully. And today, we think about whose well we can fill. To take this uncalculated act of kindness quietly, not because you need the pat on the back, but real, where we can offer to continue the perpetual light of the life of Sarah. We are one human family, one heart of abundant love. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning at 9:30 as we continue our teaching, faith in the renewal, the courage to continue to love. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. 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 Od Avinu Chai. Have a great day, everybody. Be well.